Can you still hear me, Mitch?
Again. I got you. I got you.
You got me real good. Wow, wow.
Sounds like a cue for a song.
What was that?
Sounds like a cue for a song.
Dun, 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 dun. Hello there, folks. Welcome to another brand new edition of Not Another Whiskey Podcast. I am your co-host, Nicholas Polacki, joined as always by the esteemed Mr. Mitch Bouchard. Mitch, how art thou?
Good, man, you?
I'm very well indeed. How are things?
Yeah, cannot complain, mate, apart from a little bit of the sniffles.
Yeah.
But that's good. I think everyone's got that right now. It sucks.
Yeah. It's going around, man. So today's episode, this is a catch-up episode, so I'm excited about this. We're going to catch up on Guest of Distillery, catch up on general banter that's been going on around the whiskey industry and the whiskey life, do a little bit of some news topics, and then you're gonna try and teach me some jokes, right?
I'm going to try and teach you some jokes.
Yeah.
Don't know about teaching you some jokes. I might tell you some jokes if you play your cards right.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what have you been up to? How's your week gone?
Good, man. What have I been up to? Weekend with the lads. So bit of a big house that we had up north.
Very
Hanging
nice.
out there. I kind of cut out a little bit early though. I woke up one morning just so tired. I need my bed. So jumped in the car, came back a day earlier than I was supposed to, which is pretty bad form. But yeah, the day before that, I had some guys from your neck that I had two parties up in Speyside that I've been hosting from New Jersey. So they
Representing?
were pretty mental, mate. Like got into it big time.
What, drinking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like to the point where I had to cut them off at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we're talking like struggling to get in the van a little bit here, you know what I mean?
fair enough.
So, yeah. But yeah, apart from that, mate, kind of laying low, just planning a load of stuff. We did whiskey talks in Edinburgh. That was crazy.
Yep.
Edinburgh really showed up for that one. 84 people we had. We had some amazing guests as well. Like Ian Sterling showed up from Portleaf Distillery. Poured out his new make. So first time a big crowd had tried their new make. We had Pete from Woven. We're going to chat about Woven in a second because they're doing some cool stuff. And then right at the end, we had some big hitters come in, mate. We had Ronan, who's the assistant blender, Ronan Curry, the assistant blender for Glenallachie,
Nice.
pop in, along with Rachel Barry.
Who's she? I'm only joking. That's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with that. And then we didn't realize this when we were putting it together, but everyone actually had 8 drams, a highball to start, and then we had whiskey cocktails at the end. So shout out to our friends in Voodoo Rooms. They did a great job. So there's a lot of planning going on right now for Whiskey Talks in Glasgow, which is going to be the 14th of May. And we're looking really good on that already, mate. We've already got 60 RSVPs for it. We're going to push it to 100 for this one. So anyone listening, if you want to pop along, check us out in Glasgow.
Where is it going to be?
Coppercairn.com. It's going to be in St. Luke's, which is a big music venue. So we've got a big venue for this.
Nice.
And then we'll take it next door for some post whiskey cocktails to the Gate with my good friend Andy Gemmell that owns that place.
I know Andy.
So yeah,
Very well.
Andy.
I know Andy very well. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, great. He's going to be on one of the panels as well. So we're going to have a panel all about the kind of drinking in Glasgow, the kind of pubs in Glasgow and all that stuff. So that should be quite a lively one.
Nice one, mate. Nice.
Yeah, man. What about you? What have you been up to? What's been happening in the world of the USA?
Do you know what's cool? Like, I was just thinking about this. When I don't travel, so you'll be shocked to hear that I have not been in Las Vegas, Mitch. But when I do not travel, I kind of go through this human MOT test. So I get my doctor's appointments, I get my dentist appointments, I kind of go through all of that. So I've had some fun stuff. I was just reading Arnold Schwarzenegger got a pacemaker put in last week, and he was out chatting about it and trying to actively talk about his health issues and let his kind of listeners and his podcast and all these kind of people kind of tune into some of the stuff that he's going through. Similarly for me, Mitch, I had to go and get calcium scoring done in my heart. So
What?
I know.
What
Well,
does that mean?
they put you in like this kind of it's almost like a donut that your body kind of gets passed through, and it basically checks your valves of your heart to make sure your ticker's ticking the way it should, and all that other fun
Shit.
stuff.
How was
Yeah,
it?
but I'll find out next week. So fingers crossed. I'm still going. I had a little bit of a St Patrick's Day party with the fam, which was fun.
Nice.
They do a big kind of parade stuff here in Morristown, in New Jersey. I found out why empanadas and Cornish pasties. You know how a Cornish pasty is the twists at the end, like the little
Oh, yeah.
twist. Right? Do you know why?
No, tell me.
Same for empanadas. You're supposed so they were made for like workers. That's the bit you're supposed to hold, and then you're meant to eat the juicy meaty part in the middle, and then throw those little twists away.
Wow.
So
Right.
I had no idea. So I thought that those were all part of the crunchy goodness that you worked towards, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to munch into it, and then if you were a worker, your hands were dirty, so you didn't mind throwing a little bit of the pastry away to feed the birds, tuppence a bag or whatever.
See all the interesting facts that our listeners get to, not
All
just
of
about
it,
whiskey.
100%. And then last night, Jacko came into town, so I picked up Rory Jackson at the airport, brought him back here. He's now the first ever Not Another Whiskey podcast guest to have ever been in the whiskey sample room, the Shibui tasting room here in the Northeast, and got to come in and have a dram. So we'll post that picture as well
Nice.
onto social so folk can
And
see
just to
it.
explain who Rory is to everyone, if you haven't listened to that episode, we did an episode with Chris Cusseter and Rory Jackson all about whiskey and rugby. So if you're a rugby fan, you want to check that one out.
It's a great episode.
Did you guys go pretty hard at take it?
Do you know what was nice? Like we had a few drams here, and he wanted to taste Shibuya because he'd never tried that before. So because you can't get it in the UK at the moment, so he tried a few of the different whiskies there, and then we had a Glenrothes 1988, which was excellent, and yeah. March Madness is on, so there's a lot of college basketball going on here. I actually thought we were going to catch a game, but there's a pause. They all had a night off last night, so Rory and I sat at the bar and just drank cold beer and chatted. Had a burger and fries. A real American.
Was that the same bar that you took me to where I first met you? That sports bar.
Yeah, right, that's
TVs.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my logo.
Literally, like you cannot look anywhere in that place without seeing a TV. It's insane.
Yeah, so shout out then to Legends Sport Bar in Morristown, New Jersey. It's actually, I go by the classic name of Famished Frog, which is what it used to be called. And it still has some of that. I think the restaurant's called Famished Frog, the bar's called Legends, and they've got a hops kind of craft beer bar in the back, which is awesome as well. But yeah, I like to take people there and hang out. It's just a nice little local spot. The team are good. And then for the first time ever, I had a black and white cookie. And I don't know if you've ever had a black and white cookie, Mitch, but
Has it got
basically,
marijuana in it?
no, it doesn't. It's basically just it's like a dense sponge cake shaped like a cookie, but it's dipped in fondant icing. So if you want to know why I need to go and get calcium scoring in my heart, it's because I've started to eat a shit ton of these things. So it's not good for you, but absolutely delicious. So highly recommend if you ever get a chance to go and bake them, make them, or buy them, do it.
Right, mate. Yeah, you're just living the rock and roll dream right there, aren't you?
Honestly, while I'm at home, I like to make the most of it. So yeah, getting the old ticker looked at, having a few drams, and then having a burger and fries probably should be the top of my to do list. But that was a
Nice,
cheat.
mate.
It was a cheat day yesterday, so I let myself off the hook.
Well, good to see you're getting some QT at home, man. That's
Absolutely.
been nice. Yeah, I'm going to be the opposite of you. Well, I think you're going to be the same. We're going to be hit the road soon, both of us. So, events coming up, a load of things going on, which is exciting. Well, yeah, going to be hitting the road ambassador style very shortly. So, we need to get some recording done soon.
Cool. Well,
Speaking
on
of
that
which-
nose,
On that nose,
on that note, I was looking at your nose, so
it's kind of hard to miss.
well, it's plain as the one in your face, mate.
Ah,
All right, Mitch. So now that we've covered all of my cookies, heart issues, and pretty much everything else that's going on, what else is going on in the world of actual whiskey stuff?
Yeah, let's chat about whiskey, mate. Let's get off the cake thing. Um, so the big news is that Glen Turret has got a new managing director taken over from John Laurie, which is Jen Bernruther. Now she's going to head it up as it's coming into its 261st anniversary next month. She's come from Pernod Ricard. Specialty drinks was her thing, I believe, over there. And she took over just yesterday. So as we record this, it's March 26th. And she took over on March 25th. So Jen, welcome to Glen Turret. Big shoes to fill with John, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a size 14. No, joking aside, Jen, congratulations. You are now the guardian of a wonderful distillery and a fabulous team as well. Rory being testament to that. Obviously, I'm going to give him an attaboy there, but he's a great asset to the business, and from the Michelin star restaurant and the rest of the crew that work on that amazing estate are just fabulous. So congratulations, that's a great job, and excited to see what John's going to go off and do. So he's now moving across to head up Glenrothes and kind of work with the team there. So that's
going to be private client manager for Glenrothes. So working with our good friend Lauren.
Yeah. So Laura Rampling. So again, another distillery that we love. I mean, personally speaking, I think I say this almost every other episode, but it is one of my favourite whiskies of all time. And by the way, there's a lot of Glenturret news going on because these guys also just bought the Aberturret Estate House, which is located next door to the Glenturret Distillery, and renovated it to the nines. And now that's going to be their estate house for guests to come and be able to stay in. And it is absolutely stunning. It's worth actually Googling this up so that you can see the interior of this, which was designed by Will Nolan. Beautiful blend of kind of country living with the refinement of kind of a luxury Edinburgh townhouse is probably the best way to kind of describe it, but it just looks fabulous. They've done a wonderful job, capable of hosting up to 12 guests in total, with 4 king bedrooms and 2 double bedrooms, all paired with ensuite bathroom. And I mean, Mitch, have you seen some of the stuff on this? In this,
it looks amazing. It
looks incredible.
What I'll do is I'll put the link to this on our show notes at the end. But I've known about this for a while because my good friend Colin Hart, he has been kind of looking after this for a long time. And he keeps saying to me next time I'm in Crete to pop in and have a look. So I'm excited to come down and see it. But Colin, I'm more excited to come down and stay in it. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, this does look beautiful. And actually, when I do make my trips up to that neck of the woods, it would be fabulous to stay there. And this, obviously, Aberturret House shares its launching, and the house is opening with the launch of their Aberturret Gin, which is their new dry gin that they've kind of released out there. So again, pretty cool stuff. It's a lovely piece of packaging, lovely. Just another feather in the hat of the Glenturret team, I guess, right? And Lalique Crystal.
I think not only that, mate. I mean, it's great to see another distillery with accommodation and offering this sort of added value to whiskey consumer, whiskey tourist, I suppose, in Scotland.
Yeah.
Which, I'm a big part of being a big part of my business with Copper Cairns. So it's great to see that. And, for me, I'm excited when I get clients of this caliber that can afford to stay there. Get them in there and get them for a nice Michelin starred lunch or dinner and then stay at the house. It looks absolutely spectacular.
100%. I mean, it completes that experience, and that's really what I love about this. Me and Rudy were chatting about this last night. Like, that's the best thing about the whiskey industry are the people that are part of it and the experiences that we provide. Like the going to a distillery, but not just there's a part of seeing a distillery which is the operational side of and I hate to use the word factory, but the factory part, kind of the mechanisms of production, right? Which is great. But then these other things like the restaurants, the food, the celebration of the hospitality industry that is part and parcel of the Scotch whisky industry, I just think it's brilliant. So seeing this, like you said, like being another opportunity for those types of high-end clients that are going to come and stay on site and really immerse themselves in Glenturret, baller. Absolutely baller.
So I think the biggest bit of news that dropped this week, and it was all over social media, was the fact that Port Ellen opened its doors for the first time in 40 years. So those anyone that knows anything about kind of whiskey has heard of Port Ellen. Established in 1825, it was a distillery on Islay that was closed down in the 80s. And when we talk about these, I suppose, horrible parts, troughs you could call them within the whiskey history making, the 80s was definitely one of them. And I think it was 83 we saw 16 distilleries closed down. So Port Ellen was one of those victims of the 80s, and people have always harped on about the fact that they can't believe it was closed down. It was one of the best Islay distilleries. Arguably, it's got merit. I've tried some amazing Port Ellens, but I always think that when people can't get something, it becomes more attainable, right? So a closed mothball distillery, people are always going to kind of go on about it a lot more. But this opened up. Diageo have applied 185 million investment into it. It looks absolutely stunning. Really modern design. It's got this window with all the stills kind of looking out onto the coastline of Islay. So amazing to see. But not only the design, they've designed this so it will be carbon neutral with every part of the distilling process, apparently. So
Very
really
cool.
cool to see Port Ellen open again. Exciting times. I think this is going to be a very expensive distillery tour from the kind of whispers that I've heard within Diageo. So, I don't know if you guys remember, they opened up Brora a good few years ago. I think to go around Brora now, it's about 300 odd pounds for a tour. I'm
Wow.
assuming, or I'm hearing, that this is going to be the same case at Port Ellen. If someone's heard any different, then please let me know. But as far as I'm aware, I can't find any information on booking a tour or doing a tour. But great to see this open. What do you think about this, Nicholas?
Absolutely killer. Like, I'm a big fan. Actually, I just looked behind me in my whiskey shelf and I found my cheeky little dram. I have a Port Ellen 7th release. These are highly collectible, super rare whiskies. There's only, I was just looking at this one. This is a 28-year-old that was distilled in 1979 and bottled in 2007. There's only 5,274 bottles in the world, and this is bottle number 0101. Ooh, sneaky. But
Nice.
it's a great. Again, it's always good to see more distilleries opening in Scotland. So, I think that expensive to do the tour, and I don't know what you do in a tour to justify that price tag. I hope there's a lot of wow
Good
factor
Port Ellen.
things. What was that?
Good Port Ellen to drink.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, as long as you make it worth the bang for buck, then it's always a welcome addition. But I think it's excellent to see another distillery opening in Islay,
Yeah, I mean,
and really bringing back a legend distillery, right? What
I
do
was
you?
just going to say, I remember when I was with Diageo, we did a tasting in the warehouse of Port Ellen of every single release at that point. I think at that point it was running up to, what did you say? You had the seventh release there. Is that right?
Yep, 7th
Yeah.
release.
So I think we ran from the first release to the seventh release. And that was just an incredible warehouse to be in a distillery at the time that was mothballed and go through all those releases was pretty special. And I was actually, we were cycling 2 years ago, and we camped out just by Port Ellen on the first night because we cycled around Islay. And I remember seeing, you could see the bones of Port Ellen being put up. So that was pretty cool. And it's nice to actually see it opened up. I know this was delayed quite a bit because of COVID, I believe.
Yeah,
So yeah, the plans were to open this way before now. So really cool to see it open.
very cool
So
indeed.
from a massive distiller of Diageo to a tiny little distiller and good friends of ours, the Woven guys. Great to see them hiring and, well, for the first time actually, a brand ambassador in the UK.
Yep.
Now, we've spoken to Woven before on the show, and I think we need to get these guys back on because they're doing some incredible stuff. I think it was episode 3 or 4 when we got the Woven guys on here. They literally just launched. Really cool to see. So for those that don't know who Woven are, they're a very, very small blending house out of Leith. So Leith being not a part of Edinburgh. Leith is separate from Edinburgh, but it's just a stone's throw away from it. So they're based down there and really kind of bringing back the traditions of blending whiskey that were very much alive down in Leith back to life again. So great to see that they're expanding out and creating these roles and creating these jobs.
Yeah, and a great opportunity for any whiskey lovers out there to reach out to the team if you want to take that role on and be the brand ambassador for a fantastic business in the whiskey industry.
That would be a good job. Would be a nice.
Yeah, it would be a great job.
Woven actually. All right, let's move on to guess the distillery, mate.
Right, go for it. Do you want to do the recap of the last time we actually did this? Because it's been a couple of weeks.
I'm going to do that. And, I was kind of disappointed because I thought this was a hard one. But again, a load of people got it right.
Ooh.
So we're going to have to start making this even harder. So to give you guys the clues, I said that the story of this distillery began back in 2012. It has a view over to a famous Scottish island, and it has a woman owner. So there were the three clues, which I thought was quite a tough one, but a lot of people got the fact that it was Knocknean. So there you go.
There you go. So I think I've made this, like, I'd like to see, I'll be able to tell Mitch straight away if you think this is easy or not. So this is my new Guess the Distillery clues. This distillery was built in 1949. However, it was mothballed in 1995 and then sold in 2003 when production resumed. And its water source is Danny Burn. The pipes are calling. Actually, by the way, so that's it. So built in 1949, mothballed in 95 and sold in 2003 when production began. And its water source is Danny Burn. Joking aside, if you want to hear the best version of Danny Boy, listen to Jackie Wilson. Download it now. Or not right now, but like after you've listened to us wrap up Not Another Whiskey podcast. And you can listen to it because it is fabulous.
Is it Port Ellen?
It's not Port Ellen. Is that your guess for real?
I think I know what it is, mate, but I'm not going to give it away.
Oh, really? Okay.
But that's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Yeah, well, tell me your thoughts once we close the show, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
Yeah.
But before we close the show, back by not so much popular demand, but I do want to hear I've got a couple of jokes for you, which I'll get to, but I know that you've been itching to get to yours.
How many have you got today?
I've got two for you today. How many have you got?
I think I got 4.
Oof! Can't wait.
So my wife yelled at me recently. She said something like, "You don't listen to me anymore." I thought that was a really strange way to start a conversation.
All right. What's blue and smells like red paint?
What is blue and smells like red paint? I don't know.
Blue paint.
Oh. A pirate turned 80 the other day. Can you guess what he said?
A pirate turned 80?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Aye, matey.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh. I actually like that. Aye, matey.
That's one for Daz. He loves a pirate joke.
What word's always spelt wrong?
Tell me.
Wrong.
I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Have you got another one?
No, that's me. So you can wrap up with it. What else have you got?
I'm going to finish on a bombshell. We might have to edit this one. I'm not sure. It sits on the fence, right? So, what is the difference between a casual dinner party and a pirate orgy?
I don't know.
In the first one, you come as you are. The second one, you err as you come.
Leave that in. It's pretty funny. 2 pirate jokes.
Yeah, I know, especially for Daz. That's the Daz joke episode. Daz, just for you. Know you like pirates, so.
There you go. Is that because of the beard?
Oh, mate, he loves pirates. He has watched Pirates of the Caribbean I don't know how many times. That's all he watches. He doesn't watch a lot of movies, just Pirates of the Caribbean or anything with pirates in it.
All right, then. So next week we have Neil from Torveg who's going to join us to talk about everything that they're doing there. That's pretty exciting stuff, right, Mitch?
What's Torveg, mate?
It's a distillery, mate.
Oh. Okay.
Welcome to Not Another Whiskey podcast. For
Just
fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, that's right, Nicholas. Skye is now the second most popular tourist spot in Scotland, next to Edinburgh. So
It's not next to Edinburgh.
it's not next to Edinburgh. It's quite far away from Edinburgh.
It is.
Who, as in Edinburgh's the first. Skye.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. Fucking hell, this is a while to get this one finished. But yeah. So for a long time we've always talked about Talisker being the only distillery on Skye, and now we have two with Torveg, very new distillery. So yeah, we've grabbed the distillery manager Neil, and he's going to pop in and have a chat with us about what they're doing there.
Cannot wait. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us, like us, follow Mitch around town if you see him. Subscribe to Not Another Whiskey podcast wherever you're listening, and we shall see you next week.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you later.
Bye.